I don't know that Islam should fight him first. For Makhachev, he goes and beats Ilia Topuria, right? People will say he beat Volk, he beat Ilia Topuria, Charles Oliveira, Renato Moicano. Seems pretty good. That's 5 title fight wins. But in that, it would say, well, he's defended the belt 3 times against featherweights. Because at the end of the day, guys, it doesn't matter what you do or in high regard you hold someone. The fact that he was the champion in a lower weight class is what's going to be pointed to the moment Islam beats him.
Any of those guys, Arman, Charles, Justin, sure, they'd all be phenomenal fights. And they'd all have a realistic chance of potentially beating Ilia Topuria. Granted, Ilia is special. I'm not saying that he's not. But if he lost to them, there's a massive market opportunity lost there.
If Islam and Ilia fought for the title, how do you see that one playing out?
It's a tough fight. Ilia, better striking, good boxing. He never fought with guys who can wrestle very well like Islam. So we'll say it's a 50-50 fight.
Do you think they're going to give Ilia the opportunity to fight Islam for the title if it's not you?
I think so. I'm open for everybody from top 5.
Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev are 2 of the UFC's most electrifying talents, each carving out a remarkable path in their respective divisions. Topuria, with his unbeaten record and fierce confidence, has rapidly become a rising star, while Makhachev, the current lightweight champion, continues to dominate opponents and is often hailed as Khabib Nurmagomedov's natural successor. Fans have long speculated about a potential clash between these 2 powerhouse fighters, envisioning a high-stakes showdown that could shake up the MMA world. Yet, despite the buzz, the UFC has decided to keep them on separate journeys for the time being. Rather than fast-tracking a super fight, the promotion seems intent on letting both men further solidify their individual legacies first. While this decision may leave some fans wanting more, it could actually raise the stakes when they do eventually meet. Holding off on this epic battle might make it even more significant when the time finally comes. So, why the delay? And what could this strategic pacing mean for the UFC's long-term plans? Let's unpack the reasoning behind the promotion's approach and what it signals for the future of these 2 elite fighters.
Here's what I would suggest, and I'm not a matchmaker. Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. Yes, book it. Gaethje versus Sarukian. Book it. Whoever wins fights Makhachev. That's it right there. That's it. Topuria gets the shot. Sarukian, Gaethje, winner gets the title fight. We're back in line at 155. Oliveira, go down to New Orleans, fight Dustin Poirier. If you win again, you're next after that guy. There it is. That's it. Oliveira fits the bill. Oliveira is a former champion, a big name. He could be the type of guy Poirier would want to fight in his...
Let's start with the basics. Ilia Topuria, the 27-year-old phenom with Georgian and Spanish roots, has quickly become one of the UFC's brightest stars. Sporting an unblemished 15-0 record, Topuria has dazzled fans with his sharp striking, elite-level grappling, and an unshakable belief in his own abilities. His dominant performance against Alexander Volkanovski sent shockwaves through the featherweight division and had many calling for a showdown with lightweight kingpin Islam Makhachev. On the flip side, Islam Makhachev, a product of Dagestan's rich combat lineage and a close protege of Khabib Nurmagomedov, has carved out a near-perfect record of 25 wins and just 1 loss. Known for his relentless grappling pressure and ever-improving stand-up game, Makhachev has steamrolled through elite competition, including title defenses against Charles Oliveira and 2 victories over Volkanovski, solidifying his status as one of the most dominant champions in UFC history. With both fighters riding high and fans buzzing about a possible clash, many believed a matchup between Topuria and Makhachev was inevitable. So why hasn't it materialized yet? Let's take a closer look at what's holding this super fight back and what it means for both men moving forward.
It's always tough to go against the Dagestani, especially when we're talking about, pound for pound, one or 2 best fighter in the world. So, but Ilia Topuria is something special. His boxing, his wrestling. I saw a stat last week. It was like, I don't think Ilia's thrown a single head kick or a body kick his entire UFC career.
Following his dominant win over Alexander Volkanovski, Ilia Topuria didn't hesitate to send a clear message to the MMA world. During his post-fight interview, he made a bold statement. "I'm the best on the planet. I'll fight anyone, anywhere. Islam, if you think you're the best, step into my world or I'll come into yours." The crowd went wild and the internet lit up with speculation, fueling hype around a potential super fight between Topuria and Islam Makhachev. But as the buzz grew, the reality behind the scenes painted a different picture. Though Topuria showed a willingness to move up to lightweight, or even invite Makhachev down to featherweight, the UFC brass had alternative plans in motion. Dana White and his team had already started charting separate courses for both fighters, effectively shelving the potential clash for the foreseeable future. So with Makhachev temporarily off the table, the big question now becomes what lies ahead for Ilia Topuria? Let's take a closer look at his potential next move.
Man, I would like Topuria to win. You know, he's obviously the featherweight going up. You know, and that's what my style is. Like, if I'm the champ, I would like to go up to and, you know, fight the lightweight guy. You know, but yeah, I would like I've got Topuria on that fight.
So you picked Topuria to win too.
Ilia Topuria's rise through the UFC ranks has been nothing short of meteoric. But the promotion has a history of strategically building up its future superstars. While a clash with Islam Makhachev would undoubtedly be a blockbuster, the UFC appears to be playing the long game, believing that Topuria still has some key battles to win at featherweight before venturing into a different weight class. Beyond the octagon, the UFC's business mindset comes into play. Topuria is on the verge of becoming a global draw, and the organization is clearly focused on enhancing his profile and star power. Throwing him into a high-stakes fight with Makhachev too soon could backfire if it ends in defeat, potentially slowing his momentum. Plus, the featherweight division is packed with world-class talent. Names like Max Holloway, Brian Ortega, and Yair Rodriguez are all legitimate threats and compelling matchups for Topuria. Taking all this into account, it's likely the UFC wants to see Topuria solidify his reign at 145 pounds before setting the stage for a potential super fight with Makhachev down the line.
So realistically, there's a ton of options for Ilia Topuria, but the reality is Islam Makhachev has got to fight somebody soon, and so does Ilia Topuria. Justin Gaethje wants to fight for the belt, but Justin Gaethje really doesn't give a shit right now. I think Justin Gaethje is happy making the phenomenal amount of money that he is and just going out there and being able to be himself, walking into an octagon, living his own life, having no boss, no wife, no children, just training and fighting and living life to the absolute.
While the long-awaited matchup between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev isn't on the UFC's immediate docket, that doesn't mean it's out of the picture entirely. The promotion seems to be taking a deliberate approach, focusing on cementing Topuria's status as a featherweight force while Makhachev chases greatness in the welterweight ranks. For now, fans will have to practice patience. But in the ever-changing world of MMA, plans can shift overnight. A statement win, a sudden ranking shuffle, or a strategic pivot by the UFC could quickly bring this dream fight back into focus. Should both athletes continue their dominant trajectories, this bout has the potential to become one of the most iconic showdowns in UFC history. Until that day arrives, the hype continues to build. The fantasy matchups keep trending, and the anticipation only grows stronger. In this sport, anything can happen, and often does. So don't